Hey, it's Dusty Thunder with an AITA story for you. This one is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Telling My Friend That I Was Done Inviting Her to Parties? What is your vote based on title alone? I, 22 female, throw a lot of dinner parties, like a ton. I love to cook, so I always put food on the table, and I'm a pretty good chef, I'd say. One of my friends comes to all of them. The problem is, she takes all the leftovers.
What?
ISTG, what does ISTG mean?
I swear to God.
Oh, ISTG. Every single time there's a scrap left, she takes it. And I appreciate that she doesn't want to waste food. That's not the problem. The problem is, I want some leftovers too. So I told her when we were eating this time, hey, don't take the leftovers, okay? And she was like, yeah, sounds good. Fast forward to the end of the party, she takes the gosh heckin' leftovers. When I noticed later that night, I text her, hey, if you can't stop taking the leftovers, I'm not going to invite you anymore. She says, okay. Next time that she comes over for a dinner party, I remind her when we're eating, don't take the leftovers. She says, okay. When she's about to leave, I was sitting near the table. Guess what I see? She's taking the freaking leftovers.
What is she doing?
So I tell her if she couldn't listen to a boundary that I set, the clear consequence that I discussed with her was that she would not be invited to any more dinner parties. She said that it wasn't fair that she couldn't have some, and she was only taking a little bit this time. I'm not sure if that's true, but I told her I didn't want her to take any. She says, okay, and puts them back. Fast forward to the next time I hosted a party, she is not invited. Apparently she found out through the grapevine, makes sense, we share quite a few friends, and she got pissed as hell, saying she put them back and I should have invited her again. I think she might be right. Am I the astronaut? I don't even know where to go with this. Like, okay, put myself in OP's shoes here for a second. You're a host. You're doing a lot of work for people, right? And you have the one friend that takes all the leftovers every time, which there has to be some kind of coordination, right? Is she bringing her own Tupperware? Is she bringing her own doggy bag? You know what I mean? She's like, it's okay. I brought my own container. She scrapes everything into it and slides out the door. If that's the case, it's not okay. If you were aware of this because she was like, hey, I'd like to take some leftovers. Is that okay? And you're like, oh, sure. Let me give you a container, like our moms would. It's like, here, this container's for you. Take what you want. Then it's a different situation, which you kind of enabled along the way, right? But no matter what, you created this boundary. You're like, hey, please don't. And she's like, okay. And then she went against her word right then. And at that moment, she uninvited herself. You are NTA as far as I am concerned, but we're going to be able to get Mama Thunder's feedback on this as well, because you all unlocked her.
Oh my God, it's Tata Thunder.
No, Candy doesn't share food, unless I box up leftovers for you specifically. Don't take my shit. I don't understand why she, even if it was that she didn't have food at home and she needed food, why wouldn't you say something instead of, yeah, sounds good, or okay, for sure.
Instead of lying about it.
And then just taking it still. And she's like, I'm not taking them all, but, I know, is she bringing her leftovers? Is she smuggling it in her purse? Is it like a sandwich bag? I need, specific details so I can really understand
she said
what's
okay,
happening.
but then she still, I want to know the Tupperware situation. That's where, if she's bringing her own Tupperware, it's nefarious as hell, right? It's like she's bringing a giant bag. She's in there with Hermione's handbag, and she's pulling out a giant Tupperware thing. She's scooping it all in. And what is she doing with those? Is that what she eats on for the rest of the week? What is the why behind it?
I would never take leftovers from a get-together unless they were given to me specifically by the host. So our moms, or take what you want kind of thing.
Yeah.
I would never take leftovers from a dinner party kind of thing. I would just, I don't know, it just feels wrong. Unless somebody asks specifically if you would like to take that home.
Yeah. And I don't think that we would ever even ask, let alone just take stuff. Just taking stuff is wild. Yeah. Not even asking. Asking first, getting permission, and then that's something. I think asking, I don't know, how do you guys feel about asking? Is it okay if you're at a dinner thing to ask if you could take leftovers, or does the host have to offer?
I will offer. I'll give away the majority of our food because we just don't eat leftovers well. We don't get through them.
We're terrible.
And I always ask him, do you guys want me to keep this or do you want me to throw it out? And him and Ava are like, yeah, keep it. I might eat it. We never eat it.
Yeah, we never do.
I'm not a big leftover person.
We're terrible about leftovers. Just terrible.
Unless it's taco meat or something. Because then I want to keep that.
You can make nachos, yeah. If it's one of those things that's a modular meal that you can do a number of different ways, that's one thing. But
this is so awkward though. Can you imagine calling someone out as they're on their way out the door with their smuggled leftovers, and you're like, "Bitch, sit down. I know you got my food.
Empty your pockets, bitch."
Yeah. I would I don't know. I mean, good on her for setting a boundary and expecting her to be I don't know. I don't know. I just can't imagine going in someone's kitchen and being like, that looks like it belongs to me. I'm going to take it. And then just taking it. That feels so wrong on so many levels.
A couple of good points here, real broad, like Thanksgiving leftovers, they go home with the guest. That's understandable.
For sure, yeah, there's so much food.
But normally the host initiates that, right? And yeah, there's some cultural differences too. There was a comment about being Italian. Oh, there it was. Or should I go newly? We're Italian, too much food, everyone gets leftovers. Maybe she's Italian too and assumed. So if there are some cultural situations where there's always an assumption, yeah, that could feed into this, and that would definitely make it more sense.
That would make sense on the first time, but not the next 2 times when she was specifically asked not to take it.
That's true. And then said okay, and then smuggling plums.
Yeah, when we do family stuff, like get-togethers, everybody takes them home. Say, for instance, my family, my mom, our family, my sister's family, my brother, they would all take that home and share it and whatever, whoever wants what. But I just can't imagine. I would be if this was me, looking at Phoebe's thing, and she's like, let me see. Lint, don't want that. But it would be, let me see your purse. Let me check.
There's just a general assumption if Candy Thunder goes to her folks' house that she's coming back with food of some kind.
Every time.
A lot of times it's, hey, my mom is making this. I'm going down there. Do you want me to bring you back some? I'm like, sure, that sounds great.
My mom, I love going to my parents for dinner.
And
it's my favorite thing.
Your mom enjoys it.
Yeah.
Your mom still enjoys
yes.
doing
But I also
that.
try to reciprocate too.
Yeah, of course.